styles of these two teams are what's going to make this game fun.
And they've had some excellent games. I mean, some of the really close and tight fought games are between these two teams.
This is going to be a fun one here this afternoon. Bring it down the house! Great ball movement from the Lady Panther.
That was nice.
Rivaldo can just do so many things. It's so athletic.
You mentioned earlier in the game, Pat, how you really like the freshman. I can see why.
The Brighton Bengals are the Division II state champions. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Madison Park High School in Roxbury as we kick off our coverage for the 2018 MIAA State Basketball Tournament. Tonight, we got the Boys South Division II preliminary round as the Milton Wildcats take on the Madison Park Cardinals. Hello, everybody. I'm Pat Flaherty. I'm with my partner, as always, Alan Platt. Alan, it's the start of the state tournament. It's the craziest, but probably the funnest time of the year in high school basketball here in Massachusetts.
Well, all the high school teams play all winter to get to the tournament. It's, like you said, statewide, big deal, east, middle of the state, and the western part of the state. So it all culminates with state champions in the East Division. Like you mentioned, we're going to start tonight with a preliminary round, actually, because a lot of the teams in different conferences got buys for this first round. These two teams sort of have to play their way in to the next round. As a matter of fact, the winner of this game will travel all the way down Route 3 to get to Falmouth for the round 2 game. But tonight we get two interesting teams, Madison and Milton.
No question. You look on the Milton side, and they graduated about 5 seniors from last season. They also lost a player at the beginning of the year, so their main man is a guy by the name of Eddie Hassel. Very good athlete for this Milton Wildcats basketball team.
Well, actually, he's considered possibly a better football player than wide receiver, but he is their leading scorer, like you said, Pat, because they lost a bunch of scoring due to injuries. But Hassel, he'll be number 13. He had 20 points in their win against Framingham a few games ago. He's been averaging between 17 and 19 points a game, like I said, leading the way for them on the scoreboard.
No question. The slasher getting it done for Milton. He is the guy that they're going to get the ball to tonight. Meanwhile, on the other side for Madison Park, you want to talk about a scoring machine. Dominic Jones, he's our spotlight player tonight. He is an outstanding offensive player for this Cardinals.
Well, Dominic, unusual, I guess, course to get here to Madison Park. His only season playing here. He is a senior. He was at New Mission a couple of seasons ago, and now he's here at Madison Park to finish up his high school career. Like you said, Pat, amazing scorer both inside and out. Had a high of 51 earlier in the season against Snowden, just to show you exactly how he can explode. He's going to be the main challenge for the defense of this Milton team tonight.
No question. We saw him a couple of weeks ago against West Roxbury. Sort of struggled from the perimeter, but he can certainly take it to the hoop, as you see right there. And if that outside shot is falling, you know he's going to pour in the buckets tonight for the Cardinals. They see 51 against Stone, that school record, and then against English, he had 37, 10 rebounds too. Coach Wilson really wants him to pick up his rebounds, and he has been sort of late in the season. That's really helped Madison Park.
And I think the message got through sort of late, but at least it got through. So hopefully,
better late than never, right?
Hopefully for this state tournament game, he'll be able to have a more all-around game. Quite frankly, he does have to work a little harder on defense and rebounding, because he's a good enough athlete to really be a game changer.
Without question, and that's the type of thing that you got to do in the state tournament to advance. Now, for more on this game, we're going to go to our sideline reporter, Seth Orensky, who's got an update for us. Seth, what do you have?
Thanks, guys. Turnovers are the key to this game, or maybe a lack thereof. On the Milton side, head coach Billy Donovan has said his team has worked against the press in practice with 6, 7, or even 8 defenders to try to mimic the speed and talent of this scrappy Madison Park defense. On the other side, Madison Park has struggled with turnovers of their own. Josh Monte Castro, their first-year point guard, a junior transfer from Florida who had only played AAU prior to this year, really struggled with organized basketball coming into the season. But over the past 5 games, Dennis Wilson has said he's really adopted the role of a floor general, a pass-first point guard who's really helped this team down the stretch as this team into the state playoffs, not only for the first time in 4 years, but the first time for all these different players. Dennis Wilson said his team might struggle a little bit with nerves early on, but after that first pass, first rebound, even that first defensive stop, he thinks they'll be just fine as they play on the court named after him. Guys?
Thanks very much, Seth. Good point by him. You know, Madison's got a couple, or at least a young point guard who hasn't had a lot of varsity experience here in Boston. Meanwhile, Milton's got a bunch of sophomore guards in the backcourt to start this game. So you're going to have two young, inexperienced
That
guards
might be a wash.
going at it.
Good
That
point.
could be a wash.
That might be a wash. Or coaches might just decide to put the ball in the hands of their front court veteran players. We might see some of that kind of adjustment early, because both coaches understand the nerves involved, anxiety. For Milton especially, they're in a foreign gym.
Right.
No familiarity whatsoever. So
Right.
we made some changes really early in the game.
Well, without question, we'll see how that unfolds as the game gets going. We also have Madison Park, who, as Seth mentioned, hadn't been to the tournament in 4 years. So, Coach Wilson, 31st year as a head coach, he has been itching to get back into the state tournament. Madison hosting the Milton Wildcats here at Madison Park High School. We're going to head to break. When we come back, we'll have the opening tap here from the Madison in Roxbury right after these words. Don't go away.
It appears these hot ashes are about to be dumped, which could possibly start a wildfire. How will Smokey deal with such a hot situation? The garden hose defense. Next, a thorough stir. Then another spray. And finally, feeling if the ashes are cool.
Oh, yeah.
Ah, yes, the selfie. A ritual practiced so frequently with this tribe, but not so much by Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Marie, you have prediabetes.
Prediabetes? I don't have time to eat right or exercise. I'm a busy mom.
Oh, you're a busy mom.
Yeah.
This is great news. Busy moms never get prediabetes.
Wait, what?
Let me just... Yeah, this is all the people at risk for prediabetes, and way over here, busy moms. No?
Planning the right amount of food is hard. The Guestimator makes it easy. Just tell it who's coming and what's for dinner. Then it tells you how much to make. And yes, it even plans for leftovers. Try it at SaveTheFood.com.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma. I have a mentor, and she convinced me to continue my education. No one receives a diploma alone. If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, go get it. You can do it.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
We do anything for kids. Yet 1 in 6 children in the U.S. struggle with hunger. Help end childhood hunger near you. Learn how at feedingamerica.org.
I was physically at school, but my mind wasn't at school. I had problems at home. That's when I met Narnese. She started helping me a little bit, like, Nia, I don't know what you're doing, but your future is more important. She's my strength. It takes a village to help somebody get their diploma. It changes your whole life.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Welcome back to Madison Park High School in Roxbury as we kick off our state tournament coverage here at the Madison. First up, it's the Milton Wildcats with Regan, Trotman, Hassel, Joyce, and Lane for their starters. Then for the Madison Park Cardinals, it's Castro, David, Jones, Alexander, and Pena. Alexander and Hassel going to perform the jumping duties for both teams. Milton in the all-red uniforms with the white trim, Madison Park silver unis, and the maroon trim. We're underway here at the Matadome, and the Cardinals control the opening tap.
Like we said, a lot of unfamiliarity with the state tournament. No different here, even though Milton's so close to Boston. They're coming from the Bay State League.
Jones on the drive, easy scoop layup for him.
Yeah, Milton's going to have some help on the baseline defensively to stop Dominic from doing that.
Stolen away here by Madison Park. Castro back to Jones. Dominic does not get the layup, but he'll get 2 free throws.
Just some of the nerves you talked about early on with Milton. Simple entry pass, couldn't get there. And Madison Park off and running. There's Jones, gets hit in the arm. He tried to still convert.
Jones knocks down the first. You see Dennis Wilson in his 31st season as the head coach of Madison Park.
Now you mentioned that Madison Park missing the state tournament for a few years. That might have been the longest drought for him because he was pretty consistent with his Madison Park teams over the years.
Cardinals still in that full court press. Trotman gets it up to Hassel. Hassel straight to the bucket. And that's going to go off of Richard Lane and back to Madison Park.
Yeah, the length of Madison Park in his first minutes is showing itself defensively. One of the problems for Milton, they only average 48 points a game, and that's actually 18 points less than what Madison Park averaged.
Jason David now with it, top of the key, over to Castro. Josh Monty well off the mark. David there for the putback. Trotman doing a nice job breaking the press, and now it's Hassel that's going to get organized here for the Wildcats.
It's a 3-2 for Madison, 3-2 zone for Madison in the half court. They're going to get the ball to Hassel around the foul line.
Trotman on the nice drive, and the sophomore converts Milton's first bucket.
Yeah, good job with the left hand.
Pena. Turnaround jumper doesn't fall. Alexander with the offensive board. Good give and go to Jones. Lost it on the way up. Dominic is able to put it back up and in.
Yeah, he's so long, he can take a mistake like that and still convert it. Milton wants timeout quickly. They have a couple of things going, both on offense and defense. If there's a cut knocked away, looked like a good defensive play, but Dominic still makes something out of nothing by being able to control the ball.
Yeah, 8-2 run here to start off the ball game for Madison Park. Jones with 6 of those 8 points, and certainly tough sledding so far here for Milton. You see a little bit of the youth too. They're sort of a little anxious to get going.
Definitely, I think on the defensive end, that's the main priority right now because they've allowed a couple of free drives to the basket. But even on offense, they've been a little shaky. The sophomore may have a nice drive to get their only bucket so far. A little more of that is going to happen because Madison Park is clearly already, they're keying on Eddie Hassel. We talked about him in the open as the best scorer and best all-around athlete for Milton. Milton has a press break. It actually works. They use Trotman for the second pass, and then he's able to advance past half court. But like I said before, Madison's real long. When they're in good position with that full court pressure, they can force some turnovers.
Luke McMenamin now in for the Weston Wildcats. Junior, he's actually the quarterback of the football team for Milton.
We have Hassel in the corner now.
Regan launches a 3. That went off the back rim. Pena with the rebound for the Cardinals. Jason David knocks down the trifecta.
I tell you, the luxury of playing a state tournament game at home, got some friendly, familiar rims.
swing for Milton. It's knocked out of bounds by Alexander. Milton has a tough time getting the ball in. And now it's Trotman on the drive. Gets it inside to Eddie Hassel, and Hassel is fouled.
Like a hit in the face. Again, Trotman created something by dribble drive to watch his penetration. As the defense steps up to him, opens up Hassel.
Hassel no good on the first. We mentioned Eddie Hassel being a very good football player. I believe he was an all-scholastic as a junior wide receiver last year for the Milton Wildcats.
Well, overall, actually, the Bay State League is considered more of a football league. They have a lot of teams go deep into the playoffs pretty much each year in football, and sometimes all the way to the Super Bowl.
Dominic Jones trying for three. That one around the rim and out. Regan with a rebound. Hassel inside. Henneman gets his shot blocked by Jason David.
But that still might have been their best set. I mean, they were able to get some penetration using the pass. That was just a good defensive play. Nice recovery.
For the Wildcats, 22 coming in.
Substitution for Milton as Isaiah Fortes comes in, and Trotman will head to the bench. Trying to swing in his Hassel and stolen away by Castro. Rashmani. Give and go to Jones, and Dominic was tripped up inside the paint. That foul will be on the floor.
Again, simple play. Kick it into the big guy at the block, and then have Dominic cut down the lane.
Mid-range jumper, no good there from Alexander, and that's going to go back for Wildcats.
That's ball coming in.
And Regan stepped out of bounds on the press breaker, so he'll go back to the Cardinals. Coach Donovan mentioned that he needs his young guards to take care of the basketball. He knows that Madison Park feasts off those turnovers.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, they want to run every opportunity.
And he said, you know, if you guys turn the ball over, you know, it's not going to be pretty because Madison Park can just throw it down on the other end if they get a wide open look. David on the drive over to Pena, and that's going to be offensive goaltending on Charles Alexander. The ball was still in the cylinder.
There's full court pressure by Madison Park.
Inside Hassel, reverse lay-in, no good.
Okay, good defense, just took away a straight shot.
Jason David on the drive. He's short with it, but he'll get 2 free throws.
Foul's going to be by Hassel. Watch again, strong drive. See, Madison Park wants to take everything to the basket. Any kind of openings, whether it's in a fast break or even if it's a delayed fast break, they want to get everything to the basket.
David no good on the first free throw. Substitution for both squads as Brendan Henry comes in for the Cardinals.
The game we did earlier in the season, Madison Park and West Roxbury, Madison Park did struggle from the free throw line.
David missing both there for Madison Park. All the way down, getting the layup there for Milton is Richard Lane, the senior.
Good drive by Lane.
He and Hassel, the only 2 seniors on this squad. Sorry, 2 of the 4 seniors on this Milton Wildcats team. And Jason Davis has to throw that one up, and he gets it to go.
Just throw it up, something might happen, right?
Madison back to an 8-point lead.
They
and
travel,
on Fortes.
Yeah, the center for Milton that time, he abandoned his backcourt mates by leaving midcourt. He would have been wide open right there.
6 turnovers here in the first quarter for the Wildcats. Dominic Jones trying for a 3, well short. Fortes inside, McMenamin short on the hook shot. Rebound comes down to Henry.
You can see Madison Park wants pace. Meanwhile, Milton wants to be a little more patient.
David on the drive again. This time he gets grabbed inside the paint. That foul's going to be a number 4, Isaiah Woodley.
That's the exact same move that we've seen Troutman make for Milton a couple of times early. Again, once you get in the gap between the 2 defenders, that's the best way to beat a zone. Yeah, Troutman's back in. Looks like he's going to play like a box and 1. He's on Dominic playing man. Everybody else is in a box.
Jason David, deep 3, short with that one. Lane comes away with the rebound.
The foul line is open. The Milton players just aren't going there. That's where the entry pass has to be. Then you face the hoop, look down either for drop down or just take that foul line shot.
You see a lot of teams when they go against the zone, often their best player goes to that foul line.
Well, that's right. Exactly.
Corner 3 from Fortes, and he got bumped. That's going to be 3 free throws for the junior guard.
Real bailout on that one. A little over anxious for Madison Park. He actually thought shot an air ball, but he's going to get awarded 3 free throws.
Fortes no good on the first. Isaiah was actually a starter for Milton earlier in the season before getting a hip pointer injury. It's taken him a couple weeks to get back from it. And as you can see, he's still shaking off the cobwebs a little bit. Substitution for Madison as Louis Pena comes back in. Charles Alexander heads to the bench.
And Isaiah Woodley now is in for Milton in the backcourt.
1 out of 3 from the free throw line is Isaiah Fortes. So 7-point lead here for Madison Park. Coming up on a minute and a half left to go in the first quarter.
Looks like Milton's gone to a small lineup. Trying to get some more quickness in there, and they've also tried to go. Yes, just travel there. Different look. I mean, you got to give Coach Duncan credit. He's tried like 3 different defenses already. I mean, that's what you got to shake it up. Just got to hope that all your players stay alert enough to know exactly what you're in.
Eddie Hassel back in for the Wildcats as McMenamin takes a seat.
So Troutman, he's the key guy. If he gets the ball in his hands, his quickness with the ball can break the press. And, Milton just has to make sure they get it to him as opposed to anybody else. That's the second time we've seen him break the press by himself.
Sorry, guys. That was a foul on 32.
Like you mentioned earlier, Troutman's only a sophomore.
Yeah, Coach Donovan mentioned that the experience that these sophomores are getting here at the end of the season and in the state tournament will be invaluable for this program for years to come. Fortes unable to connect on the 3 from the corner. Jaden McLean now back up to Castro. Under a minute to go here in the first. Jones, this time with an open corner three, and he buries it. 10-point lead here for Madison Park. Nice little drive there. Shot doesn't fall, but that's Isaiah Woodley who's going to get 2 free throws.
You got to attack. Got to attack.
Following Cardinals, number 14.
Good ball fake, drives the basket. Watch Woodley doing a good job getting inside. Both teams have 14 fouls so far.
Woodley knocks down the first.
Substitution for the Wildcats, number 34 coming in.
Stephen Joyce comes back into the ball game from Milton.
And Madison Park, number 12.
Alexander also coming back in for Madison as Brendan Henry takes a seat. Usually good on both free throws. He'll now head to the bench. Coming in for the first time for Milton is Andrew Lynch, freshman guard. 35 seconds left to go here in the first quarter. Madison with an 8-point lead over the Milton Wildcats. Jones on the drive, step back jumper from the elbow is no good. See if Milton get a shot off before the end of the quarter. Fortes, a little too strong on that one. So after one here at Madison Park High School in Roxbury, it's the Cardinals with an 8-point lead over the Milton Wildcats. Dominic Jones getting it done offensively early for Madison.
Green hat, red hat, oops. Red shirt, blue shirt, yellow shirt, oops. Yellow pants, red pants, green pants, oops.
Welcome back to Madison Park High School in Roxbury for Game of the Week. The Madison Park Cardinals lead the Milton Wildcats 16-8 here in the Boys Division II South preliminary round. And folks, if you want to follow us on social media, you can follow us on Facebook, search for Game of the Week here in Boston with a lot of good, check out our page, make sure you like us, a lot of good updates, a lot of good videos and pictures to check out. You can also follow us on Twitter at Boston City TV. And if you want to tweet at us, use the hashtag BostonGOW. We're just about ready to start the second quarter here at the Matadome. Cardinals pretty much doing what they want, offensively especially, and then defensively, you know, if it weren't for a couple of bad fouls, they'd be really in good shape.
That's the key. I mean, defensively, they have their length with the size advantage and using that full court pressure to create turnovers.
Corner jumper around the rim and out that time for Richard Lane. Castro quickly up the floor. It's McLean from the corner, no good. Pena fighting for the loose ball, and it's thrown off of Alexander back to the Milton Wildcats.
Good job by the freshman, Woodley.
Into the middle to Regan. And Jones pokes it away there for the Cardinals. Wildcats still a little hesitant offensively. Pena inside, tries a hook, no good. Rebound comes down to Woodley.
Nice pass up front.
I'm sorry, that's Andrew Lynch, the freshman.
Substitution 21 for Wildcats. And
substitution for Milton as Doug Walco comes in for the Wildcats.
Straight man-to-man now for Milton.
Alexander on the drive. Gets his shot deflected. Charles going after the loose ball. That's a jump ball. And it will stay with the Cardinals.
Good defense initially by Doug Walco for Milton. Watch here, and then going after the ball. You just have Alexander get himself back into play for the held ball.
Yeah, Charles is one of those guys that he's got that motor. You know, he's always going to go after the ball. Offensive rebounder, crashes the glass. Pena's pass deflected, but into the hands of Dominic Jones. Step back three for him. That's off the back iron. And Regan comes around with a rebound. And the turnover in the corner there from Milton.
Yeah, he talks about being a little shaky.
Jason David somehow gets that shot to go.
Yeah, that's a confident shot there.
And the scorers table lost the scoreboard for a minute.
I think someone might have stepped on the plug. Watch this nice drive. Takes a little bump. Use that left hand to, we call it a half hook. But like you said, Pat, Madison Props pretty much doing what they want to do.
Question. Our sideline reporter Seth Arensky's got an update. Seth?
Guys, just a temporary timeout as the scoreboard's back online. Message out of the intermission was that both coaches were pretty happy with that first quarter. The fight on the Milton side and the other side. Dennis Wilson said his team's playing hard enough. They just need to pass the ball a little bit more. Guys?
Good job by Woodley, the freshman.
Yeah, scoring inside is Eddie Hassel. His first
He
bucket.
came off the bench, a little undersized, but his quickness actually helped create that basket for Hassel.
Yeah, Andrew Lynch with the assist to Eddie Hassel. Now it's Alexander off the up fake.
Nice
It's a
block by Hassel.
Get the feeling Milton just needs a couple of plays to go right for them to get going. Hassel, corner three. That goes down.
It's funny, too, because he's not really considered a three-point shooter.
No, not at all. More of a pull-up shooter and driver, but Hassel.
5 straight points. He brought his team back within 5. 10-point lead cut in half in a matter of 20 seconds.
Corner three now for Madison off the back iron. Up to Hassel, gets the basket and the foul. That woke up this Milton crowd.
That was a great pass. I mean, Hassel, we talked about him being a wide receiver.
That was the quarterback who just threw it.
That was a beautiful pass. Like that concentration. He was getting tripped and hit on the arm. Still was able to gather it to put it home. Chance for a three-point play.
Hassel no good on the free throw, so still a 3-point game, lead rather for Madison Park.
7-point run for Milton, all Hassel.
Take a look.
Watch this again. We talked about him being a wide receiver. Watch him gather this in, knows the defender's back there. He got tripped first, then got grabbed from behind, and still was able to make the basket.
We saw McMenamin, the quarterback, making that beautiful pass to the wide receiver, Eddie Hassel, and that big rush there has certainly helped out this Madison team. You see their confidence a little bit more. I think it's also, you know, something where you see your best scorer finally get going a little bit.
Exactly.
That helps the rest of the
no
team.
doubt. I mean, he hit a 3, which for them is probably a little unusual because he doesn't take that many threes. But in the first quarter, he literally only had 2 shots. This quarter, they get him involved. Like I said, just ran off 7 straight points. I'll tell you, I like what this freshman Woodley's done. I mean, his quickness on the defensive end and offense, he actually got Hassel his first hoop of the game. He was able to, Andrew Lynch. He was actually able to drive and dish down to Hassel on the baseline to allow his first hoop to be an easy layup. That really helps. So something simple like that might just got him going, and you see him staying in the game as a freshman.
Yeah, again, we mentioned the sophomores that started off the game for this Milton team. You got the freshman Andrew Lynch in there, the sophomore Regan's in there. You also got a sophomore big and Stephen Joyce. You know, see Trotman come back in. You got 4 of 5 underclassmen getting very valuable state tournament time for Coach Billy Donovan.
I'll tell you, even though he's a first-year coach, he's coached a lot. I mean, he was the girls' coach for a number of years. Then before that, he was the assistant coach on the boys' side. So he has a lot of years coaching, actually. And a bad pass.
Yeah, turnover that time, and then it's stolen right back by Castro, but he stepped out of bounds.
You talk about momentum, you talk about emotion in the game.
Get to Hassel again down low, and then Regan fires up a 3 and hits it. Tied up at 18.
10-point lead for Madison Park, wiped out just like that.
Jones getting pumped, scores off the window and gets the foul.
That's that length of Dominic. See, he has good hands anyway, but because he has such long arms, even when he takes a hit, watch him take a hit in his face, but he's still able to bank it home.
Substitution for the Cardinals. Louis Pena comes back in for Madison Park. As Sonny Wanika takes a seat on the bench. Dominic Jones, he got hit in the face there. I wonder if his eyes are bothering him a little bit there. Unable to complete the three-point play, but Jason David, and then he loses it underneath to Joyce. And that's a sophomore mistake. Going behind your back in traffic like that.
And then passing to the backcourt. He actually was about to travel, so he had to get rid of the ball.
For the Wildcats, 22, 20, and 0.
Substitution for Milton as Isaiah Fortes comes back in. Richard Lane back in for the Wildcats. And also Dalen Trotman back in. Pena looking to go to work inside, nowhere to go with the ball. Now inside to David. Jason with a basket and one.
Great quickness, Trotman. He beat Trotman on the weak side cut.
Foul on number 0 from Milton.
Watch the top of your screen. You'll see him. There he is.
Substitution for
Trotman was
Milton,
just
number 4.
a step slow.
Well, Jason David and Dominic Jones now with the 11 points apiece here midway through the second quarter. David knocks down that one. He's got 12 points now for the Cardinals. And gets the steal for Madison Park. David, open look for 3, and that one off the back rim, gets his own rebound. And then he's fouled out on the wing. That one's going to be on Isaiah Woodley.
Foul on Milton, number 4. Substitution for Milton, number 14.
You know, we've talked a lot about Dominic Jones in the open here, but Jason David's also a good scorer for this Madison team. Just a couple of weeks ago against Boston United, David had 26 points, 7 assists, 5 steals to go with Dominic Jones' 23 points and 10 rebounds. So those two guys are really the dynamic duo for this Cardinals.
They're really a 1-2 punch. You're absolutely right. And that's different kind of scorers, obviously. Dominic, I think he's much better going to the basket. But he does like shooting outside shots, whereas, like you said, Jones can do about everything. We've seen him get offensive rebounds. We've seen him jumpers, that little lefty hook he had.
So David hits the front end of the 1-and-1. He'll have one more. David knocks down the second.
So you got a 10-0 run by Milton, answered now with a 7-0 run by Madison Park to take the 7-point lead.
Yeah, good response here from the Cardinals. Despite not having a ton of youth on Madison, they don't have a lot of experience in the state tournament either. So new territory for both teams. Pena with the block, put back good inside from Richard Lane.
Again, the whole thing started with the penetration by Andrew Lynch.
Jones on the drive gets poked away. Here comes Fortes. And he gets it knocked out of bounds by Pena. That'll stay with the Wildcats.
I'll say, other than that long pass to Hassel, it really just seemed like the Milton team was almost a little uncomfortable trying to run a fast break.
Open three for Wayne, and he's short with it. Rebound inside by the young Joyce, who squeezes it back up and in.
That's the key. Yeah, that's what Milton has to do. Got to carve out some room underneath the basket when those outside shots go up.
Joyce put back, cuts the Madison lead back down to 3 here with 3:11 left to go in the second quarter. And you see that confidence boost a little bit here for Milton. They've been a little bit more aggressive, both on the offensive boards and just pushing the ball.
All it takes is some shots to go down. I mean, that three from the deep corner by Hassel a few minutes ago, probably the biggest shot of the game for them so far, because that really made them feel like they could get back in it. That was the one that started that 10-0 run. And, okay, Milton, they're starting to feel a little more comfortable. It's funny, too, because now here we are 3 minutes to go in the first half. They already have 22 points. Like I said earlier, they only averaged 48 for the entire game. So they're gonna be, well, they know they have to be over their average to have a chance to win, because Madison typically scores close to 66 a game. So on paper, you look at those numbers and you say, well, something's got to give. Watch this inside offensive rebound, carved out the room. Excellent job by Joyce.
Another sophomore putting in the work there for Milton. They're going to need a lot of those young guys to get it done here tonight if they're going to try to advance in the tournament. As we said before, Milton, didn't really necessarily expect to be in the tournament until probably the last 2 weeks of the season. They actually have an under 500 record, but because of where they fall in the Bay State,
right.
I believe they came in second in the Herget division of the Bay State. That helps them with there's a few rules that help teams get into the tournament.
See, the Bay State has large schools and small schools, and you're right, that designation did help them in terms of their record, even though it was under 500.
Get it down the lane the other end, and he finishes
up and under
the reverse lay-in.
That's the second one. Those long passes, I'm not sure why they're hurting Madison Park so much. They usually get back on those.
1 point lead for Madison now. Jones again scores off the window and gets the foul. It seems like he can just do that every time.
Soft touch. He has like I said, he has sort of a deceptive step. That first step gets him by Joyce. Then Lane trying to help out, reaches in. And, see, you gotta get him hard, because otherwise he'll use those long arms to find a way to get to the backboard.
Jones no good on the free throw, but he's going to pull it back out now for the Cardinals off of the offensive rebound. Jones again on the drive, and that runner goes down.
He's just tough. He gets inside that lane. He can get a nice soft shot up.
David pokes away the steal. Jason now to the basket, scores off the backboard.
Turnovers, points.
Madison feasts off of those. Back to a 7-point lead for the Cardinals. Fortes on the drive, tries a runner, and he's short with it. Jones now with some open floor. Pena unable to convert. He had a good position there in the post. Lynch to the corner, Hassel. Almost stolen away by Jason David.
Yeah, David's really all over the place. A lot of times you see that with high school players when they're having a good scoring game, their defense really picks up. He's probably the quickest player out there anyway.
Sure.
But he uses that ability as much on defense as it does on offense.
Woodley off the up fake. And gets it poked away, then gets his shot blocked. Now it's Jones coming away with the rebound. Under a minute to go here in the second quarter. Madison Park with a 7-point lead over the Milton Wildcats. Jones again to the rim. He's going to get 2 free throws.
Yeah, he'll navigate his way through any zone. That's
number 20 for Milton.
I'm a little surprised we haven't seen them go back to the box and one. They had it for a few minutes in the first quarter, but they got away from that. He's, like you said, he's just finding his way into the lane.
Jones knocks down the first. 2 for 2 from the line is Dominic Jones. 9-point lead here for Madison. 47 seconds left before halftime. High press breaker pass there from the freshman Lynch. Corner 3 from McQueen, no good. Hassel out on the break.
That was a nice tap pass by Lane. He saw Hassel streaking down the sideline. Good job.
I wasn't sure if that was just a deflection or an actual
No, I
pass.
think see, watch Lane. He actually saw his teammate. At least I'll give him credit for it. I mean, you might,
he was looking up.
Right.
He was looking up, so we'll give it to him. Hassel back at the free throw line, shooting 2 for Milton. We'll see if he can stop the bleeding here on this run by Madison, and he does.
Substitution for Milton, number 34.
Joyce coming back in for Milton, along with Regan. Second free throw, no good for Hassel. So Madison with a 2.5-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock and play for almost the final shot. Davis checking the clock. Now he's going to set it back up for Madison. Six seconds left on the shot clock. They swing it to David. Open 3. Buries it for Madison Park. Big time 3 from the senior Jason David. And that extends Madison's lead to 11 here at the half. 36-25 are the Cardinals on top of the Milton Wildcats. Jason David, 19 points, including this 3.
And that's, with that, it's been an entire first half of runs. It's absolutely amazing how this game's gone.
No question. As you saw Milton get it close, within 1 point actually, and then Madison Park extended their lead again with that nice run. Did a great job there, especially Dominic Jones and Jason David. Has just had an outstanding first half. As you mentioned, he's all over the place.
Well, like you talked about, 1-2 punch. I mean, that's ideal. Coming into the game, Jones obviously was going to be the key player that Milton had to worry about. But you got Jones running around with that quickness of his. He's showing the outside shot. He's going to the basket. He's drawing fouls, getting to the foul line. I mean, Milton now has 2 issues to talk about at halftime, but you got to like the way they bounced back. I mean, they were down 18-8. They had a 10-0 run to actually tie the game, but then, like you said, we had an 11-point bulge here for Madison Park at halftime because their defense is turning Milton over in automatic points as soon as Madison gets out the open floor.
No question. Milton, in the beginning, it looked like they were really going to have a tough time tonight, but they bounced back nicely, just down by 11. Sideline reporter Seth Orensky has got the head coach of the Milton Wildcats, Billy Donovan. Seth, take it away.
Joined by Madison Park head coach Dennis Wilson. Coach, it was 25-24. You closed the run, closed the half on a 10-1 run, your biggest lead of the game. What was your message to your team during that last time out when you guys were able to sort of settle down and take the attack to them?
We got to stop the mental mistakes. We're allowing them to make fast break layups, point guard one-on-one. Right? If you're driving, I got to rotate back and watch the break. So mental mistakes, and also my big guys got to box out consistently. We can't allow them to get easy putback layups. Other than that, I'm pleased with, we got to attack the basket more. It's not like DeAndre Jordan or Bill Russell's out there, right? So let's get the ball to the basket, make them defend us, and we'll see what happens.
With that, every time they were able to get within 1 or 2, Dom Jones decided it's time to go to the basket. Is that something you're saying to him, or is that just him recognizing this is my time?
Well, I called a few sets for him. In other words, they look to get him the ball when he's not on the ball. But then we got a couple of sets where we get him on the ball and set some screens for him and have him rubbing off screens and some pin downs and different things that little tricks he showed me that I try to do.
On the other side, Eddie Hassel, their senior leader, he's been held in check for the most part. A couple points early, hit a big three in the second quarter. What do you do to keep him down in that second half?
Well, again, we're going to keep playing our defense, keying on him and number 4, their main point guard that kind of stirs the drink. But 13 is their best player. So we'll keep an eye on him if need be. I got a few tricks up my sleeves,
Coach, it's always fun to talk to you. Good luck in the second half.
Okay.
Guys, take it away.
Thanks very much, Seth. Well, we've seen a lot of Coach Wilson. We'll see what kind of tricks he's learned over the past 31 years.
I say they haven't gone to boxing one yet. They haven't felt that they needed to yet on Hassel because he's not what you really call, what I would call a volume scorer. I mean, he hasn't taken that many shots. I mean, his athletic ability has actually gotten him free. We've seen him on 2 different fast breaks, able to create some offense. He had that big 3-point shot. But they really, I'm really surprised at how few shots he's had in the first half.
Sure.
But I'm sure the second half he'll probably get more.
Yeah, you think he would get the ball a little bit more because of what's going on with this team and all the young guys, and he's this one of the few seniors on this squad who's used to putting up a lot of points. Madison with an 11-point lead here at the half. Folks, we're going to head to break. When we come back, we'll have the start of the third quarter here on Game of the Week right after these words. Don't go away.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
We cannot be bystanders.
We can stop to make sure someone is okay.
We can warn someone when their drink isn't safe.
And disrupt the situation.
We can.
Get someone a cab.
Or walk them home safely.
We can make campuses safer for our friends.
Our roommates.
Our classmates. Our fellow human beings.
We cannot be bystanders.
We can. Intervene.
It's on us.
All of us.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. You're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw that coming. That will throw you off track. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Hey, you.
Yeah, you. Getting that college education, what are you gonna do? Graduate and take some office job? Be like everybody else?
Or will you dare do something different?
Like, be a teacher. You could be my teacher. You got the skills.
The smarts?
Yes, you. You could be the teacher I never forget.
That'd be cool.
Does that corporate job even have recess? What are you gonna make of yourself?
What are you gonna make of me?
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. You're gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Go, okay, oh yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah. We're getting so wet.
Open up your books to page 360.
Did you just look at your phone while you was in class? You played yourself.
Talking about inspirational quotes.
You gotta believe in yourself. Don't ever play yourself. The key is to make it, so make it.
Louise, Can you give me an example of an inspirational quote?
Don't play yourself. The key is to make it.
And who said that?
I did. Now that's a major key alert.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at getschool.com.
I was physically at school, but my mind wasn't at school. I had problems at home. That's when I met Narnese. She started helping me a little bit, like, Nia, I don't know what you're doing, but your future is more important. She's my strength. It takes a village to help somebody get their diploma. It changes your whole life.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
Welcome back to Madison Park High School in Roxbury. We're at halftime here on Game of the Week. The Cardinals lead the Milton Wildcats 36-25 here in the boys Division II South sectional preliminary round. And in that first half, Alan, we always talk about Dominic Jones, but Jason David played really well. You had Charles Alexander getting a lot of rebounds. I mean, a lot of their guys put up some pretty good numbers there in the first half. We're going to take a look at the halftime stats now. And first up, we'll take a look at Milton. And as you mentioned, Hassel sort of got going there in the second quarter.
I'd say I'm surprised he's leading the scorer. I mean, he does have 9 points. He had that 7-0 run himself. That's right. To bring them back during their 10-0 run. Lane added 6 for them. Woodley with 3 rebounds. Lane with a couple of rebounds. And then both Hassel and Regan have 3 assists each.
Let's take a look at Madison's stats. For
Madison, no surprise. You talked about David. 19 points in that first half. Jones was 15. Think about 34 points between the two of them. That's that 1-2 punch you mentioned.
No question.
Pena, 9 rebounds, 5 for Dominic Jones. Then in the assist, 10, which is good for Madison between both Pena and David. So Madison Park, more success on offense, but I'm sure Dennis Wilson wants to see them tighten up their defense a little more.
Yeah, Jason David, we're going to see some replays of him in there in the first half. There you see him on the
putback.
Follow.
Yeah, follow putback, using his quickness to get inside. That's the outside jumper we talked about. Driving to the basket. Just threw that one up, but when things are going right, they go right. I like this one the most. The lefty hook after he took a bump. Again, weak sides, able to sneak in. Nice backdoor cut. And he just loves that left side. It's amazing.
You see David knocking down the 3 there late in the first half. He's got 19 points to lead all scorers. Milton starts off the second half with the basketball. Down by 11. They get it inside to Joyce, but he's unable to convert. Down low. And Joyce commits the foul, tripping over Castro.
Yeah, that was good offense. They had a nice offensive set coming out into the half, but
foul number 20.
You had, who's that? Richard Lane just couldn't make the layup.
Alexander on the drive, and he gets fouled.
Yeah, a little
on his way to the hoop.
Yeah, Hassel reaching.
Foul on number 13 from Milton.
Thought he had a clean steal. Let's watch it again. Coming to help. Yeah, not much there. They had a lot of ball.
Alexander, the senior, knocks down the first.
Well, we always talk about confidence, and I think that actually for both teams, they've shown each other in that first half that they can go on good runs. Biggest lead of the game now for Madison, up 13. The foul reaching on David. There's Trotman again trying to find a lane to the basket.
Substitution for Milton, number 12.
Coming back in is McMenamin.
Looks like a little trouble with the shot clock. Madison Park staying in that, it's like a triangle and two, like a 3-2 zone or a triangle and two. Dominic Jones with those long arms that hits at the top of the key, trying to just get a deflection to turn into a steal. See how Milton wants to attack it. They early on had some success with Trotman, the guard 0. The dribble drive into the lane. Now he's at the foul line.
Trotman now on the nice drive, but he's blocked by Pena. Jones going straight at the rim.
Again, soft shot, under control.
And we get a foul at the top of the key. That's going to be on Trotman, as Jones got the steal for Madison.
Foul number 0 from Milton.
Yeah, the long arms deceiving. Watch this again. Sneaks in there, and Trotman trying to get it back.
Substitution for 42
contact
from Milton.
Lynch coming back in for the Milton Wildcats.
Actually, I think for
Regan
Milton,
takes seat on the bench.
Couple of years, they'll be fine in the backcourt with this freshman Lynch and then Trotman, the sophomore.
Missed 3 that time by Dominic Jones, and now they're going to whistle Lynch for a grab as Jashmani Castro went after the rebound.
Foul on number 42.
Again, long
Milton.
rebound on that missed 3-point shot.
And now we got a foul on McMenamin. So 3 quick fouls here on Milton. They have 4, now 5 team fouls here early in the third quarter. Madison's going to be shooting free throws for a while here in the second half. Lynch with the runner. So the freshman knocks down the floater for Weston to get it back within 13 here. 6:25 left to go in the third quarter. And this is sort of tilting a little bit. It's in Madison's corner. Is you know, I think Milton right now has got to try to kind of dig into this Madison lead.
Oh, definitely. I think this timeout is just to for Coach Donovan to remind his team, the ESC under control. Good job by the freshman. Get that floater to drop. I think Coach Donovan wants to remind the team, listen, we had a 10-0 run in the first half to get back in the game. No reason why we can't do it again, but we got to get stops on defense. I'm thinking he'll probably change the defense on Jones at this point, since he's sort of had a free reign. Like I said, they tried Trotman, the sophomore, in a boxing one for a few minutes in the first half. They may want to go back to that just to keep the ball out of Jones's hands. Then, like you said, they got to watch David. So it's like it's different. I mean, Madison really has a very nice 1-2 punch, and like you said, other players can contribute. I mean, Alexander not doing much scoring, but he's been a presence on the baseline defensively. Also, grab some rebounds. So Madison's got to feel pretty good that they weathered that 10-0 run by Milton. Came out of a tie game at 18, and now have outscored Milton. What's that, 22 to 9. Okay.
Jones almost got another
I was going to say,
play.
that can't go in. He was grabbed.
Foul on number 12 for Milton.
Watched it, yeah. He inside.
Number 44.
That's the thing Milton can't have. They're in the zone in order to take away those kind of passing lanes.
Jones knocks down the first. Madison Park. Coach Wilson always talks about, you know, if his team's struggling, they're not doing well from the free throw line and they're turning the ball over. Madison now 12 for 15
much better,
from the free throw line.
Much better than they've done all season.
Since Milton got it within one there in the second quarter, Madison has gone on a 16-2 run. And now you see another turnover by the young sophomore, Jalen Trotman.
Yeah, a little indecision. I just don't know why he doesn't use a dribble. He's shown us in the first half that he can dribble the ball without losing it. I understand a press break. You know, you break it by passing. That's much easier. But Trotman, if he gets stuck, he has the ability to shoot.
Jason David keeps it going for the Cardinals. Another three for him.
Talk about his outside shot going. Yeah. You mentioned the word teetering. There's a 10-second violation there on Milton.
Coach Donovan calls a timeout here. 5:44 left to go in the third.
Yeah, you're just not seeing an aggressive passes from the backcourt.
Yeah, you see some of the young guys really sort of questioning what they're trying to do here. Our sideline reporter Seth Orensky's got an update. Seth?
Guys, at the last time out, Dennis Wilson said that we can put this game away right now in the third quarter and end this game. His team's out to their largest lead of the game. On the other side for Milton, not only are they struggling with the turnovers, struggling to get defensive stops, they're in a little bit of foul trouble. Dalen Trotman, Luke McMiniman, and Richard Lane all with 3 fouls. It doesn't matter as much since they're going 12 deep consistently, but that's 2 of their starters with 3 fouls. Could be an issue as they struggle to slow down this very, very quick team on the other side. Guys?
Thanks very much, Seth. So as Seth mentioned, 3 starters with 3 fouls now for Milton, and the next foul for the Milton Wildcats is going to be putting Madison into the bonus for the rest of the game.
And they're actually having a good, Madison's actually having a good free throw shooting game.
Cardinals come out of the timeout with an 18-point lead. David feeling it. Short on that one. Alexander with the rebound.
Nice
Put
block
back
from
was
behind.
tipped. It's going to go back to the Wildcats.
Let's see if they do a better job with this press. See, they need aggressive passes. The guys got to be in the right spots, too.
Lynch, another floater. That one doesn't fall for him. And pass a little too quick there for Pena. And now it's the freshman Lynch. Going to bring it up for the Milton Wildcats.
This is the game that Milton wants to play, but the problem is it's just too far behind.
Cortez gets fouled before being blocked, so he'll get 2 free throws.
You see trying to drive against David, but the help comes over. Actually got hit twice. Was that Castro first?
Yeah, it looked like Castro got in there.
Castro got him from below.
And Cortez knocks down the first free throw.
Watch it again, you'll see force coming. And the baseline, yeah, Castro got him first, and then Alexander on the block.
Knocks down the second, so 2 free throws for Fortes, cuts it down to 16.
So 3-quarter pressure now by Milton as they try to turn the pace up.
Pena unable to convert inside. Putback is good there for Charles Alexander, who continues to stay active down low for the Cardinals. Woodley on the drive, aggressive but couldn't convert. Jones weaving in and out of traffic, scores off the window.
Again, if the defense doesn't get back in time, he'll take that lane every time.
McMenamin on the drive, and he gets fouled by Luis Pena.
Gotta have an aggressive drive, though. That's a block shot, but
foul on number 23.
Better play it. Got the block with a lot of body on the play. I mean, at this point, this is what Milton's got to be thinking. We're down 20. We've got to go to the basket so we can stop the clock. Can you see it again? A lot of body on that layup attempt.
White ball coming in. Substitution for Cardinals.
Substitution for Madison Park. As Castro and Pena head to the bench. Coming in for the first time from Madison is Mike Goodwin. And coming back in is Jaden McLean. Nice drive that time by Jason David, who continues to keep it going for the Cardinals.
Huge game for David on offense.
Drive from Fortes, and I think it was changed that time by Alexander. Hassel going to line up a three. .22 lead for the Cardinals. There were 3 minutes left in the third quarter. And that's a rare turnover for Madison Park.
Next ball coming in. Substitution for Cardinals, number 14.
Brandon Henry now back in for the Cardinals. Hassel going to try to line up another three, and he's short with it. McLean trying to get it inside to Goodwin, but the pass was behind him, so that'll go back to Milton.
Just a tough place to be in for Milton. They haven't had any real consistent offense other than that one spurt in the first half.
Number 34, number 20, number 0, number 23.
4 new players.
For Milton.
Yeah, Trotman back in along with Reagan as Fortes heads to the bench.
Took all 5 out, actually.
Along with Isaiah Woodley. Oh, you're right, Hassel also heading out. So you got a freshman, 3 sophomores, and a senior in for the Milton Wildcats.
Yeah, you call this next year's team.
Trotman, Dipsy do no good. And he stepped out of bounds trying to save it.
Cardinals bringing it out.
Like you said, Alan, though, you get a backcourt of Lynch as a sophomore, Trotman and Regan on the wings as juniors, and then Joyce down low as a junior.
Something to work with.
No question. All of these guys now have state tournament experience in a foreign gym, too. Jason David gets grabbed right around the top of the key. That foul is going to be on Arthur Lynch, the freshman, or Andrew Lynch. Excuse me.
Watched a nice crossover. Beat Lynch.
Substitution for Milton, number 13.
Created that foul call.
David no good on that free throw. for three, and he knocks it down for the Milton Wildcats. Floater for McLean doesn't fall for him. Rebound comes down to Regan. Inside the lane, nice pass
by Hassel.
From Hassel to Lane.
Nice steal by Lane, good job.
Straight to the goal goes Lynch. She scores the basket and the foul. The freshman, fearless inside the paint.
Well, you can see that from half court that he's going to go finish that one.
His eyes open up like saucers.
Oh, yeah. He's going to find a way to get that one up. Watch it. Nice finish, like you said, Pat. Switch hands and go up with the left.
Does not complete the three-point play. Lynch now with 7 points for the Milton Wildcats. Castro. David for three. Buries another one.
Good pressure by Castro to help force that turnover.
Substitution for Milton as Trotman comes back in. Andrew Lynch going to head to the bench. .30 seconds left to go here in the third quarter. Madison Park with an 18-point lead over the Milton Wildcats. Cardinals now running the weave. Jones now going to take it to the rim. Dominic gets fouled on his way to the basket. He'll get 2 more free throws.
Yeah, Milton forced to go man-to-man, which is not what they want to do.
Number 20 from Milton.
Here's the weave. One long dribble. Gets him a step ahead defense.
I think that foul was on Richard Lane. That might be his 4th, I believe. Jones knocks down both free throws. 20-point lead here for Madison. Trotman with a chance inside to Hassel. Can he get it off? And he gets fouled just before the buzzer. So Eddie Hassel's going to get 2 free throws here at the end of the quarter.
Oh, good play by Trotman. He knew the clock was winding down, so the
23 from the Cardinals.
pass was a little off. He was behind Hassel, but he was able to still draw a foul.
Hassel puts down the first for Milton. Hassel knocks them both down. He's got 11 points now for the Milton Wildcats. With the Madison Park Cardinals in full control here at the Matadome. They lead the Milton Wildcats by 18 thanks to Jason David sharpshooting from the outside. We'll be right back with the fourth.
It's a short ride from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
Welcome back to Madison Park High School for Game of the Week. The Madison Park Cardinals lead the Milton Wildcats 56-38 here in the Boys South Division II preliminary round. Folks, if you want to follow us, Game of the Week here on social media, you can certainly follow us on Facebook. Search for Game of the Week here in Boston. A lot of good stuff up on our Facebook page. Make sure you like us there. You can also follow us on Twitter at Boston City TV. And if you want to tweet at us, use the hashtag BostonGOW. We're just about ready to start the fourth quarter here at the Matadome. Cardinals in full control.
You talked about this South Division II, along with Madison, other city schools involved. O'Brien's the 10th seed. Then on the other side, you have Tech Boston with their amazing season, 20-1. They're the number 1 seed. They have a bye. They'll be playing later in the week, and also New Mission is also in that bracket. So you have four Boston teams in this Division II South.
So you talk to a lot of coaches around the area. AC Jones continuing to go to the rim for 25
for Milton
points.
is just going to be a killer. They're not used to playing it, and they don't have the athletic ability to stay with some of these Madison Park players.
Yeah, you talk about the bracket here, especially Division II, especially in the South. I think Division II might be a little more loaded than Division I.
Some people have said that already.
Yeah.
So it's one of those years. I mean, Tech Boston really, they give them all, Coach Williams, all kinds of credit because you can't say they came out of nowhere, but they still, I don't think anyone expected them to go 20-1. That's pretty amazing.
Especially when you talk about the lack of height on that team. It still amazes me. I mean, Walter Duhalis is 6'1". He plays like a 6'7". But their tallest guy is Shamar Moore, who's probably 6'2", 6'3", and he's
an outside shooter.
He's a shooting guard. So it's just the lack of height, I think, is what people underestimate them with. But
Definitely.
they are so quick,
I think
so good defensively, and so tough that I think they're going to be really hard to beat in the tournament this year.
I would not be surprised if that's exactly what happened, especially early in the season. Some of the teams look at them and said, "We're the big guys."
Yeah.
But when they start zooming around, tapping the ball from behind for steals, and they're turning it all into layups.
Yeah. Another team say, "Oh, I guess they don't need big guys."
by then it's too late.
Right. Alexander with his eyes on the rim. Nice drive.
I'd say,
senior Cardinal.
That's how amazing this game has been. Only 3 Cardinals have scored. And between David, lead scorer right now, then, of course, Dominic Jones, and also Alexander.
Substitution for Milton, number 12.
It's been these guys for most of the season, and it continues to be these guys here tonight. McMenamin coming back in for Milton Wildcats. Ball hits the top of the backboard after being deflected by Pena.
Deflected by Pena, yeah. It's going to be a reach-in by Castro.
We said how stacked this South Division II bracket is, but you look at Madison Park, and they're going to have a tough opponent in Falmouth in the first round.
Man, they got to travel.
But if they can win that game, I mean, Madison, you look at this team, you got length, you got guys like Alexander and Pena inside who can rebound. Dominic Jones is a featured scorer who can put up 50. I mean, he put up 50 earlier this season. And if Jason David keeps shooting
that's the key. That's the key.
They might be able to pull off an upset or two in the tournament this year.
Well, that's what the tournament's all about, one and done. But if you have a great game as an underdog, you can shake things up. The difficulty is, like we always say every year, going to different venues. Some of the teams now, see the Falmouth, all right, they're going to be at home because even though they're a higher seed, and traveling down there playing against them, that's usually a hostile crowd down there because they get a lot of family support and school support. But you're right, if scorers can score, you never can tell what happened.
Tap in from Alexander for his 10th point.
Again, right. Nice job.
What a move from Lynch as he couldn't finish it off the backboard. Hassel trying to tap it away. It's taken from Woodley. Hassel inside, scores the basket, and one.
But hustle that time with it. You like the way these Milton kids are staying in it. I'm telling you, because it's a big score, but they're still hanging in. And you see a nice finish by Hassel. Good job by Woodley because he stayed with that steal and was able to find Hassel for the hoop.
Joyce comes back in the ball game for Milton, and now Coach Wilson wants to call a timeout with 5:10 left to go in the fourth quarter. Madison Park still with a 17-point lead over the Wildcats. When we talk about the scorers and who's been putting the ball in the hoop for Madison Park, don't forget about guys who can rebound. Luis Pena now with 16 rebounds for the Cardinals.
Well, and again, that's what you talk about, a player being unselfish and just making his contribution. That's what I'm good at tonight, because the Milton team, they have a little bit of size, but they're not that mobile. So if Pena can find his way under the basket, every rebound helps, obviously.
You know, throughout a lot of the season, Brandon Henry has been the starting center for this Madison team. Last week during school vacation week, Brandon actually went on a college visit down to New York. Looked at a lot of great schools down there, NYU, St. John's, Fordham, but because he missed so much time off the floor, not a punishment, but he's just a bit rusty, so Coach Wilson has started Pena more recently, and Pena's done a nice job tonight, especially.
He's earned the continued time. That's the key. A lot of times when players will step in a situation like that, they don't necessarily elevate themselves, but clearly Pena did, because he's earned all his time. Yeah, Brandon has good size, and he's about 6'2", 6'3". Good chance to have a nice college career.
And that ball's knocked away by Eddie Hassel to stay with the Cardinals. Castro dribbling through traffic.
Travel there. Yeah.
Turnover there in the backcourt.
Yeah, trying to roll the ball. I'm not sure why. I mean, at this point, you need quick possessions.
Foul number 13 from Milton.
Watch Dominic. See, he's going to run in between. Hassel.
Yeah, I
think a little upset with Woodley there for not going after the ball.
Yeah, Woodley was the one who thought he was trying to roll it. Jones knocks down the first. One thing too in state tournament games, especially when they get to down late in the game and it's tight, Dominic Jones is a very good free throw shooter.
Well, that's the thing.
You can put him on the line late in games. That's going to be a big help.
And the way he drives the hoop, he can draw so many fouls.
Lynch trying another runner, no good. Gets his own rebound. Hassel pull-up jumper. Jones to Pena for the layup.
Reaching foul on Jones. Back to a 20-point lead for Madison Park. So we were talking about heading down a couple of days. Actually, it's what, Thursday? Wow, they're going Thursday. Down to Falmouth.
Number 0 coming in.
Meanwhile, you got Tech Boston. They'll have a home game on Thursday. They're going to get the winner of Westwood and Walpole. New Mission will be playing Foxborough on Thursday. Bryant will be playing Canton, all on Thursday.
Well, Bryant's another team in this bracket that could upset a few teams.
You talk about having a really legitimate scorer. That's exactly what they have. The biggest player on the team is their best scorer.
Castro inside nicely to Pena, but he's unable to convert. Here comes Trotman now for Milton. Yeah, you talk about the Tigers, so they've actually been missing their starting point guard, Desante Bowen, for the past month or so. Nice feed inside. That time to Woodley. But if they can get him back healthy, and you got Soares going. They did lose a couple of good seniors from last year, but they could make a nice run and sneak out.
Soares is the key to everything. Just like tonight we talked about teams defensively being able to really double team or have the whole defense lean toward your top scorer. Soares is so good. He's so long. We talk about Jones being long. Soares is even longer, and he's taller.
Right.
He has a nice inside game, good outside shot. At the high school level, anytime you have a really good volume scorer, if the other guys do their part, have some, like you mentioned, Pena, ideal situation. If O'Brien goes into a game, has someone do what Pena did tonight, get 18, 19 rebounds, give you those extra possessions, and give Soares that many opportunities, something that can happen. But you're right, O'Brien for the last few years has depended a lot on their backcourt, so they really all need to be healthy and ready to go.
See how it unfolds. A lot can happen over the next couple of days. A lot of games going on here in Eastern Massachusetts. It seems like they've expanded the tournament a little bit this year too. I mean, the brackets are bigger than I've ever seen them. You got, I don't know if the rules that we talked about that got Milton in, that got a couple other teams
that's part of it.
Are under 500.
Some of the trying to, I think, be fair to all the different conferences. Like I said earlier, the Bay State divides theirs based on the size of the schools. So it's that, but they play each other.
Jones again, flying through the air to score off the window.
And steal.
Dom gets the steal. And again gets a layup. 4 points in about 3 seconds there for Dominic Jones. Steal there by Castro. Josh Monty scores off the window.
Up and under by Castro.
His first basket of the game, but then Josh Monty is whistled for the foul. Well, you mentioned the Bay State Conference as being one of those conferences that has a lot of good teams. That's why a team like Milton got in. I mean, you got Needham, Newton North, Brookline, Braintree, who all have at least 13 wins. Then in the Herget division that Milton plays in, you got Natick and Wellesley with at least 13 wins that are above Milton. So they're playing some of the best teams probably in the state, or at least in Eastern Mass, for most of the season.
That drive, we just saw the replay of Dominic's back-to-back hoops.
He had a nice move that time from Woodley, but he couldn't convert inside. Now it's Trotman off the steal. Trotman can't finish off the backboard. Regan now unable to convert. Trotman chases it down for the Wildcats. And Woodley's called for taking too many steps. Got to be a frustrating night for some of these guys. Guys like Trotman and Woodley and Regan, these three young guards have just not been able to just get that ball down. I mean, they've had some nice drives, but just haven't been able to convert.
They've had a lot of bad luck with some of their shots. Some of their outside shots just rimmed out. You see Jones again as Haskell that time takes that foul.
Dominic Jones now with 30 points to lead all scorers. We'll see if we can add to it here. You know, it's funny, you see Dom Jones put up 30. We don't see a lot of players consistently put up 30 points, but with Dominic, it's like this is just kind of another day at the office.
Well, that's the kind of overall challenge he has. I mean, I think that you talk to Coach Wilson about it. He can do a better job of trying to be an all-around player. I mean, I've told him many times he's going to work just as hard defensively because he has those long arms, he has good timing, good instincts,
very quick.
And it's great to be a top scorer, but at the same time, you got to complete your game in terms of moving to the next level and still, being a quality player. Well, two things from Madison Park. I mean, their coaches always talk about if we cut down our turnovers, we'll be okay. They did that, and 16 for 20 from the free throw line.
17 for 21
that's
now.
Excellent.
Very good
for Madison Park. As a matter of fact, the game we did during the season, they lost that game because they were so bad from the free throw line.
Oh, and they turned the ball over. Now they're forcing turnovers defensively. saying going to slow it up here with 2:20 left to go. And Coach Wilson wants to take a timeout. Cardinals with a 26-point lead over the Milton Wildcats. And as you mentioned before, Coach Wilson's been coaching for a long time, 31 years. He missed the state tournament for, I think, 4 straight seasons. And they haven't won a game in the state tournament since 2012 when they were in the sectional.
So that's the key. That's the key. I mean, you're talking about, trying to really break through and then get ready to try to move on. Because you're right. Going down to Falmouth, to try to pull that out, that would be considered a big upset.
Sure.
If they get a win down there, that'd be considered a big upset. But they do have, like you mentioned, they have the tools to do it. It's just a matter of what kind of mindset you're going to have. You're going to be affected by the atmosphere, by the crowd. It'll be a very hostile crowd. But, again, scorers can score pretty much anywhere. It's just a matter of will the other guys be able to avoid all those turnovers, because the games Madison lost, Coach Wilson and his assistants, they made a very direct correlation between the number of turnovers and the games they lost. And the opposite side, earlier in the season, they had a huge win against a good O'Brien team.
That's right.
That was considered an upset earlier in the season. That was their best game in terms of turnovers. They only had 7 for the whole game. That's right. So it works both ways. And then I think that the message may start to be sinking in to these Madison players. If they don't turn the ball over, they give themselves a great chance to win.
Madison's sort of had a season that's been all over the map when you have that big win against O'Brien. They also lost early in the season to teams like Latin Academy and East Boston, who had down years.
They struggled, yeah.
So it's sort of been a Jekyll and Hyde team this season for Madison Park. But as you mentioned, they got all the guys that can get it done.
Yeah, physically, no doubt. No doubt about that. It's just they've got to play together. And today's a good start. I mean, this Milton team a little undermanned in terms of not having a lot of size or outside shooting, but still a state tournament. I mean, over the history of the tournament, there have been plenty of first-round upsets.
No question.
Give Madison credit, they prevented one from happening here.
Wholesale substitution for the Milton Wildcats coming in is John Hoey.
Yeah, get all the kids in.
Scott Domino.
Because you're right, it's the state tournament.
Number 11, number 33.
All right, you're on the team, you practice every day. Game, it was probably over minutes ago, but get a little bit of playing time for everybody.
And that's going to stay with Madison Park. Doug Walco and Ronald Tejada also in for Milton Wildcats. We talked to Coach Donovan leading up to this game, and he did say, I just appreciate the tournament experience. My guys are getting it. He also said, once you get, you're going into the state tournament, you get about 8 more. He had 8 more practices leading up to this game, so he got more time with his young guys, just in the gym in general. And he said this is going to do nothing but help his team in the future.
And like we said, they have some young players. Some of the kids have got some major playing time. They're set in the backcourt. They just got to maybe find a couple more football players to get on their front line.
To carve out some space in the paint. Jaden McClain heading to the free throw line for Madison Park. He'll be shooting 2 for the Cardinals. Coach Donovan was joking. He said, it's my first year as a head coach on the boys' side here in Massachusetts high school basketball, and I'm going to be looking down the bench, and there's a 31-year vet staring me in the face, and Dennis Wilson. He has a lot of respect for Dennis Wilson, this Coach Donovan. He's talked to him many times, picked his brain about coaching tactics and the like. You see McClain firing out from the layup.
Everybody wants to score in a state tournament game.
Coming up on a minute here at the Madison as the 3 goes around the rim and out that time for John Hoey.
Well, we've seen the good Madison tonight. The see if they can keep it going as they go down toward the Cape this Thursday.
I think that's the one thing, too, in the state tournaments. You have to have that sustained sort of intensity.
There you go.
For these entire
game to game.
3 weeks or so, you know?
One bad game and you're out. This happens over and over again each year. That if you could literally go over any particular year, pick any year, and find a couple of upsets.
Sure.
In terms of teams who had really great regular seasons, but for some reason went to a difficult gym or got in foul trouble or unfortunately had a tough injury. All kinds of reasons. The basketball is just that kind of game. There's so many ways you can win or lose a game.
Oh, he tries for another three. He's a senior, trying to get some more shots in before his career's over. And three-pointer is made that time by Doug Walco, a junior. Excuse me, for Scott Domino, a senior here for the Milton Wildcats. And that is going to do it here at the Madison. The Cardinals take down the Milton Wildcats 76-50 here in the boys South Division II preliminary round. First state tournament win for Madison Park in about 5 or 6 years since 2012. So it's got to be a good feeling here for Dennis Wilson that they were able to get their first state tournament win in a while.
Oh, no doubt. This is one of those ones where you take the deep breath because you're expected to win. I mean, they had a decent season. Milton come in as an under 500 team. With some problems, they lost one of the top players early with the injuries. Other players just weren't ready, able to go, not at full strength anyway.
Right.
So, quite frankly, and at home, obviously, Madison was supposed to win this game. And preliminary round, now they get into the real competition because they're hitting the road. They're going to someone else's home. Long drive. Guys got to be mentally tough, physically ready. Can't be tired. You got to be ready to go on Thursday evening.
No question. They got the 3-seed Falmouth coming up in just a couple of days. Madison takes care of business here at the Matadome. Folks, we're going to head to break. When we come back, we'll have our Game of the Week MVP and our final stats here from Madison Park High School right after these words. Don't go away.
When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke.
I'm Paul George, and I want you to spot a stroke fast.
F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911.
Protect the ones you love.
Spot a stroke fast.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
They said I have troll teeth.
That my voice sounded like a possessed baby doll.
That no one would ever love someone as stupid as me.
That I was fat, ugly.
Disgusting.
The effect of bullying is potent.
We will no longer be the silent majority.
Now, when you see online bullying, there's something you can do about it.
We're gonna take action with the I.
I am a witness. I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness, and so are you.
It's a beautiful day out here. Sunny today with light breezes, giving way to clouds in the afternoon. We could see some light precipitation to moderate precipitation later on, followed by powerful storm-like conditions. 90 miles per hour winds are expected. Authorities are asking everyone, stay indoors. Come on, that's it. Let's go.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean.
got a quarter.
Welcome back to Madison Park High School. At the conclusion of game of the week, the Madison Park Cardinals take down the Milton Wildcats 76-50 here in the preliminary round of the Boys Division II South bracket. And we look at Madison. We knew there were two guys that really were the scorers for the Madison Park Cardinals. We know a lot about Dominic Jones. We've seen him score so much over this season. But Jason David had just a great game today for the Cardinals.
Great, because he did it in a lot of different ways. We had the highlight package of him at halftime. Hitting threes from the outside, going to the basket, and when the game was it's close. I mean, Milton did have a nice 10-0 run to get themselves back in the game early. David made some key shots, nice drives to the basket, forced the defense to play him while they were trying to shadow Dominic Jones. So to come up with 27 points and it filled the stat sheet, like you say, no doubt he's the outstanding player.
That's right. Jason David, our player of the game here tonight on Game of the Week. He and Coach Wilson are with our sideline reporter, Seth Orensky. Seth, take it away.
Joined by Jason David and Dennis Wilson. Jason, 27 points, 9 assists, 6 rebounds, and 6 steals. What was your focus as a senior, your first state playoff game, to show maybe a little bit of a show here in front of the MP crowd?
Well, I don't know what to say. I just want to make the best of it. That's it. Because you never know. Every game could be your last game, like Coach Wilson says. So we got to play like it's our last game.
Knowing that this could have been your last game, you guys jumped on him early, no nerves there, and then you never let them back into the game. They got within 1 or 2 and then immediately a run. What were the seniors saying within the huddle and maybe out on the floor to try to keep some of those underclassmen focused?
Just go by Coach Wilson saying. Just got to close the casket, stomp them out, MP stomp out, right?
The police will be at my door tonight.
For you, what did it mean not only to get the win here at home, but a big crowd supporting you guys? It was a little bit of a party atmosphere, and to have such a big game in your last home game here at Dennis Wilson Court.
I don't know how to answer that one. It means a lot, though, having been able to have a home game, because we were expecting to have an away game, but this last home game means a lot to me.
Congrats on the big game. Very well done. We'll bring in Coach. Coach, your guards are going to get a lot of the credit today. Jason had a big game. Dom, obviously a great scorer, but Luis and Charles changed this game on the defensive side, altering a lot of shots, if not getting the shot block. You just said off air that you were missing one of your best bigs. What do those two mean to this team, especially being without one of your better bigs for the state playoffs?
Well, without a doubt, Charles is one of the best rebounders in the state, bar none. And he usually has electrifying dunks, but a couple of times he tried to get wound up, got fouled, and then a couple other times he just settled for the layup. Lewis is a young man that didn't play varsity ball last year, okay? And he just is learning day by day. He's growing right in front of my eyes. He's very athletic. He just got to learn the game more in terms of how to play better post defense and how to play situational defense. And hey, I'm very proud of the job they did. It was a great team effort. Dom Jones played his butt off, Lewis and Charles. We got a point guard, Josh Castro, played his butt off leading the team. He's my pit bull. He's the little giant out there, and he made it happen for us.
First trip to the state playoffs in 4 years, first win since 2012. What does that mean here in front of the home crowd, knowing that on Thursday you're facing a good team in Falmouth, but at least you have that first win under your belt, going maybe a little bit more relaxed?
You had to remind me. Hey, you know, this is what it's all about. This is why you coach. This is why you play. February, March Madness, high school ball, college ball. Falmouth is a very good program, always up in the mix every year. Great coach, great team, great tradition. I heard the gym is off the chain as far as the crowd. people lined up an hour, hour and a half before the game. I mean, hey, that's why you play the game. So we're going down there. We're going to come down there flying, high-flying Cardinals, the MP machine. And we're going to just, hey, come to play, come to win, and see what happens.
Coach, congratulations
My
on the
pleasure.
victory. I'm sure it won't be the last in 2018. Good luck on Thursday. Guys.
Thanks very much, Seth, with the bold prediction there for the Madison Park Cardinals. But certainly they took care of business tonight. They did what they needed to do. I mean, you mentioned, Alan, that they were supposed to win this game, and they won this game pretty handily. They were in control the entire time. They did what they were supposed to do tonight.
It didn't take long for Madison Park to figure out how to attack the Milton team, and it started with David. That's why he had the points. Wasn't a high scorer, but he did so many other things that it made sense that he was picked as outstanding player. So the Milton team comes in. They're under 500, like you mentioned earlier, very young. Extreme. You got 2 seniors in the whole team. Had to play a lot of sophomores, play a couple of freshmen. And they struggled, and that's going to happen when you're talking about the preliminary round because there's so many teams in each region. But now, you get to the second round, and it's like taking 3 giant steps in competition.
Sure.
I mean, Falmouth is, and Coach Wilson knows. So over the years, there's tradition down there. They always play hard. They have a gym. The crowd is nuts, just like right over your shoulder.
Right.
So it's one of those atmospheres where his team is going to have to really play their best ball. And the main thing, stay away from turnovers. I mean, people always equate boxing and basketball. They say in boxing, to get an upset, you have to have a puncher's chance, all right? Basketball, a puncher's chance means you have scorers.
Right.
If you have
Shooter's
scorers
chance.
who can go anywhere, shooter's chance is what you get. And that's what Madison Park's going to live for Thursday.
No question. And I think they do have the talent. They have some guys that can get it done. It's going to take a lot, but we'll see what happens with these guys here at the Matadome. Let's take a look at the final stats here from Madison Park High School before we sign off. And first up, it's going to be the Milton Wildcats.
Yeah, they struggled. I mean, their high scorer, Hassel, we talked about him, had a few 20-point games. He had 13. Lane did have 10 after he had a sort of a shaky start, had a good second half. Rebounds, McManaman had 4, also Reagan with 4. Then Hassel dished out 7 assists along with Reagan's 4 for Milton.
Let's take a look at Madison's final stats.
Yeah, obviously a lot more higher numbers as Dominic Jones with 32 points and David with 27. For up until the last few minutes, only 3 Madison Park players have scored the entire game. Rebounds, Pena, 18 big rebounds. You can't understate how important that is. Alexander with 9 rebounds. Then look down at the assists. David, again, 9 assists, and Pena had 6. So Madison Park overall had a chance to have impact from a lot of different players in different ways other than just scoring.
No question. No question. So there you have it. A lot of different guys contributing, not necessarily in the points column, but across the board on the floor. The Madison Park Cardinals played very well as a team tonight, and that's why they got a 26-point win here at the Matadome. Folks, if you want to watch this game again, you can go to our website, www.cityofboston.gov/game of the week. All the games from this season are up on that site. You can also follow us on social media, first on Facebook, search for Game of the Week here in Boston. We have a lot of good updates, a lot of good videos, and different things that you can check out. You can also like us on Facebook, and you'll see which games we're going to be covering here in the tournament. Folks, you can also follow us on Twitter at Boston City TV. If you want to tweet at us, use the hashtag BostonGOW. One state tournament game down. We got hopefully a few more to go. It's going to be wild and crazy over the next couple of weeks. We'll get to as many games as we can here on Game of the Week. But for right now, so long, everybody. We'll see you next time.